Okay, friends, this is about um, the prologue to the Canterbury Tales. In our previous video, we discussed about different characters, different people who came at the Tabard Inn, and where everyone they wished to go to the what I should say holy journey, pilgrimage, what they call it. So now the poet tells us about all the people. There were 29, and including the poet, they made 30. And the first he begins with a moral character, the knight. Okay, so we read about the knight. Knight is the brave person, the soldier, the general in our own language. You can understand. A knight there was, and that one was a worthy man. So he was very noble person. The knight was very noble person who, from the time that he first began, and he, from the very beginning of his life history, he was very brave man, and he knew to ride out. He loved chivalry. He loved bravery. Okay, the knight was a brave person. This is the old English, a little bit difficult to read to ridden out. He loved chivalry. Okay, so to ride out, he loved chivalry, and that's bravery, fidelity, and good reputation, generosity, and curiosity, and courtesy. Sorry, he was courtesy, courteous. He was very was kind in speaking. The generals he gave with open heart. He extended himself to everyone. So he had a good reputation, and he was fidelity friendly, I think. Okay, that is, he was very worthy in his Lord's war. So, in the opinion of the king, in the what's the record book of the king, he had a good reputation. He was very worthy. He was trustworthy. So the Lord, the king, always trusted him. And for that, he had ridden no man farther. And for this reason, he was required most of the time whenever there was war, and he was most experienced person. No other person had been farther than he went. As well in Christendom as in heathen lands. So this brave soldier, the knight, he had been fighting for Christianity in the Christian lands as well as in the non-Christian lands, so to defend his religion, and was ever honored for his worthiness, and everybody acknowledged his bravery, his wisdom, everything. So he was at Alexandria when it was won. So there was time. Alexandria is a place for you see at a far away from England, and Alexandria actually are the places or the cities or the towns which the Alexander, the Greek, what we call the Alexander the Great, conquered in different places. Okay, so wherever he went, he changed the name of the city to his own name, Alexandria. So Alexandria is at different places, and so maybe this Alexandria is near Iraq or some near, sorry, what I should say, in Egypt. Yes, in Egypt, because the Mediterranean Sea is almost touching this Alexandria, or very near. So this is from there they actually wanted to go to the place where they have their was the holy place, and as we have in Jerusalem. Yes, Jerusalem was a place that is in Israel, present day Israel, and so people often went there to defend their holy place. As the Muslims, they have their mosque, Masjid Aqsa, So that's a holy place, first Qibla, and they they have been defending it, and the Christians have been defending their place. So they are very close to each other. So when there was a matter of winning Jerusalem, so he was also there. He had sat very many times in the place of honor. He had the honor of presiding the meetings many a times, or he had the authority to lead and guide others. So he had sat very many times on the place of honor. Above knights of all nations in Prussia. Prussia, maybe this is the Persian land, or maybe some other name, other place. Very often people are confused with the Prus, maybe somewhere in Italy, or maybe he is talking about Persia. So above all nations in Persia, yes, he is talking about the Persian people. So he was braver than the Persians. He had campaigned in Lithuania and in Russia. Lithuania, Russia, the Russian lands, and the brave peoples are there. So he was braver than them. No Christian man his rank of so often. So of his rank, of his match. So no Christian man of his rank so often also had been in Granada at the siege. So Christians, other they were in Christianity, in Christian kingdom, there were some other brave people, but there was no braver, no, not more experienced, because this knight had been in Granada at the siege. Siege means war. In the war at in Granada, he was also there. These are their holy wars. They fought against the different nations, including the Muslims. Maybe these wars were against the Muslims, and he was also there. Also, Algerians and had risen in Morocco. He was also in Morocco. There he fought bravely, and he was in Algerian lands. There he also fought very bravely. He was at Ayash and at Atalia. Atalia, is maybe more modern day Italy. Okay, so Ayash, maybe some place like this. He was at different places, showing his feats of bravery. When they were won, and yeah, yes, when these different places were won in the history, and you see these in the holy wars, in the Christian holy wars, the this knight was on the forefront, and he was there. He was participated or led in some cases the wars, and the cities, many cities were won, or many battles were won. When they were won in the Mediterranean, so these places they were conquered by Christians in the Mediterranean, and wherever their success was there, you can see it was this knight leading that place. Very surprisingly, we don't know the names yet. Sorry. And he had been at many noble expeditions. Noble expeditions for gentle cause expeditions are adventures. Wherever there was adventure, risking life for noble cause, for a good thing, this knight was on the forefront. He had been after 15 mortal battles. So he had fought 15 battles, okay, in which there was life, in the risk of life, and fought for our faith at Telecon, Teleson. So this might be one at Teleson, and he participated in that one too. Three times in formal duels, and each time a slain is foe. And three times he had to fight hand in hand, and he managed just sword to sword. He had to fight a duel, sword to sword, and in this way, he managed to kill his enemy, or not, in another word, say enemy of his faith, the Christianity. So he managed to kill or mm, um, um, win victory over the enemy. So this same over the night had also been. So this knight was going along with them. At one time with the Lord Ballard, okay, and there was he was also once he was fighting side by side with the Lord Ballard, maybe another hero, against another Heathen in Turkey. So in Turkey, see, he also fought against the non-Christian people, the Heathens, he can say. And evermore, he had an outstanding reputation, and all the time, every time he managed to build up his good reputation, to come up to his good reputation, he proved himself to his worthiness. And although he was brave, he was prudent. Normally, he was very wise. He was very brave. That was one thing. But this knight was also very wise. And of his deportment as make as a maid. And in his nature, he was very gentle, um, like a good maid, you can say. So he was not shouting, he was not showing a temper all the time. So when there was no war, he was just as gentle as a gentle lady. So he never, or you can say, sheep. Okay. He never yet said any rude word. He spoke very nicely, very kindly. He was never rude. He was never proud. Okay. In all his life, unto any sort of person, he did not speak rudely to anybody throughout his life. But he was very brave, and when he was in the battlefield, he was a truly perfect nobleman, and in the opinion of Geoffrey Chaucer, this knight was the perfect man. So in a way, this was a role model for all the other characters followed by, so that you can see how different the other characters were, how the good characters, how we can compare all the characters with this. Naturally, not compared, we can see the contrast. Okay, the following characters, perhaps none of them was like this knight. Okay, so being brave, being wise, being gentle, and these qualities, and being lucky as well. These qualities are not found in other characters. And he was also very impressive in his look as well. Even though he was coming from the battlefield, he was not coming from home. So from the battlefield, he was straightway going to the holy pilgrimage. He had joined the company of pilgrims. But to tell you of his clothing, and now he is Joseph says here about his clothing. His horses were good, um, uh, but he was not gaily dressed. So horses were good and strong, okay, nicely maintained, nicely what is looked after, but he himself was not seen fresh, neat, and clean clothes. He wore a tunic of coarse cloth. It's a kind of jacket maybe he was wearing, and that was not of fine stuff, all stained with rust by his coat of mail, whatever his clothes, they were the things. I see, they were not. They were stained with what I should say rust by his coat of mail. Okay, mail may be something he was. It's a particular maybe particular kind of let's see jacket that he was wearing, and it was stained. It was not neat and clean. Why it was so? Because for sometimes it means because he was recently coming back from his expedition. because he was coming from the battlefield right at the moment. So he had not yet gone to his home to refresh himself. Like he was going to pay homage to the saint for his victories, for his honors, the honors that the uh, holy people bestowed on him. He believed that the holy people, the saints, they were on his back and they were favoring him, and went to do his pilgrimage. And this was the reason that this knight was, you see, on his pilgrimage, on his holy journey. So in this way, how we come to know one thing that is striking to me is that the name of the this knight has not been mentioned, and we can guess by our own that he was an old man because he had been in many battles. Every time he was a history of battles, okay, in his life. So he was not a young and gay person. He was an old man, and so we can understand that he was um, Joseph. Other thing that Joseph did not tell us about the name of the person. Okay, so um, anyway, we cannot say why he was not so fresh. Internally, he was very fresh, I think, because he was on the pilgrimage. He was strong like his horse. And he was not weak. He was not risky. So in his that senior age, he was not very senior age. He was, you see, in his maybe 50s, 60s. So maybe near 60s, um, 50s or 60s. So you can say maybe 57, 60 years, something, 60, between 50, 60. Okay. So he was on the horse. He was gripping his position very powerfully and determinedly, and he was uh, not you see, unnecessarily talking to anyone. I can guess that he mostly gave smile to people when people looked admiringly at him or they wished to talk to him. But he himself was not an initiator of a discussion or something like that. He was very, what I should say, humble in his appearance and in his nature. So this is a way that we conclude about the knight. We shall go to other characters as well in the coming video. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the bell button to get this fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.